Hi, thanks for joining me. So, in response to my question in the Linkin Park review, when I talked about disappointing purchases and albums to avoid, I had quite a lot of response to that. It's people saying, yeah, do tell us about the things that you bought you don't like, rather than just what you do like. And yeah, fair enough. I don't like talking about negative things particularly, but I do appreciate that this is, kind of useful information, and hopefully it will save people buying stuff that, like me, wasted hundreds of pounds on records, which are just, they come in, they go into the in pile and they go straight into the out pile. And there must be 10 LPs in the last couple of months at least to do that. But I want to just talk about some notable ones and also some, questionable ones. And of course, there is the other possibility that from this, maybe someone at some record company is going to be watching. And like with the Linkin Park, it's, the Because Sound Matters one step is really damn good. Really damn good. But they're, the regular LP release is still, it's way better than the CD, way better than the Qobuz Stream. So, to my way of thinking, that makes it a perfectly valid thing. Anyway, enough of that, let's crack on. So the thing I want to talk about first is, hang on, I'm just... now I bought this last year, Sade, This Far, beautiful box set. Absolutely love Sade. Now, back in the sort of late 80s, early 90s, this is kind of where I was at, actually, more so than the grunge thing, which I've talked about quite a lot. I was having young kids and all the rest of it, and this was I loved this music. I just absolutely did. And I had the first 3 albums on vinyl, but nothing after that. And if we go through what you get in this box set, it really is beautiful. And the reason that I kind of think this is kind of important to talk about right now is last year, the only way you could buy this, which is a 6-album box set, was as the box. And they've just started selling them individually, so they are brand new releases. Now, as I say, I had the first 3, but I only had this Love Deluxe on CD. That's just, that's what I was buying at the time when this came out. I think it was released on vinyl, but I never had it. And like a lot of things from this era, if you want to get the original vinyl, they'll cost a lot of money. But, No Ordinary Love, Feel No Pain, Kiss of Life, Cherish the Day, just, exquisitely beautiful songs. And I thought, oh God, I've got to get this on vinyl. So anyway, I bought this and put it on and sort of, it kind of sounds like Sade a bit, and it sounds very smooth and very kind of even and very, dare I say it, processed. But if we go back to the first 3 albums, I won't bother pulling these out of there. But I think Diamond Life is just staggering. Stronger Than Pride's got some of my favourite. This is my original. Paradise, it's and it's so bouncy and funky and dynamic and rhythmically just captivating. It is absolutely amazing music. When you put that on the reissue, it's just, you've got a big bass, and that seems to be a very current theme. You get this big bass, and it's very even. It's sort of like, it's like that, but all the little sort of conga-y sort of rhythmic, just, the guitar, all this sort of stuff that's just sort of bouncing, dancing in the light, if you like. It's just, it's all there. You can hear it. And in a way, I talk about this in other videos about like the space, sort of the layering going back in the soundstage, if you like. In a way, it's kind of more defined, in a way, on the new one, but it's just, you know, I can kind of see how someone might listen to it and think, oh, it's better, the new one's better, but it just isn't. It's turgid, it's dead, it's dynamically flat as a pancake, and yes, everything's there. Yes, it's all kind of, you know, it doesn't sort of grit and grate and, you know, in any way, shape or form, but everything's tied down. Everything's tethered to the ground. Nothing's got life. Nothing can kind of exist and pop and bounce and groove and boogie, you know. It's absolutely lost the soul and the energy and the life. So, you know, there we go. That's my first don't buy it. And of course, I bought the box set, but all 6 of these albums are now coming out individually. And I mean, if I hadn't bought this, I would have without doubt gone and bought Love Deluxe, just because we are showing you the wrong way around. I would have without doubt gone and bought that, because it's just, I love the album. But honestly, it's I think the CD's got more fun to it than this vinyl pressing. And the ones that I've got original pressings of on vinyl are just, they're streets ahead. It's almost like just different music. It is, you know, I'm afraid that, you know, that these new releases of Sade have absolutely and completely killed the music. It's just some sort of matter of fact, like, okay, yeah, that's you know, we've got a boom there and a tsh there, and it's terrible. Anyway, continuing on a theme. So, and all these things are going to be of a similar sort of 80s, 90s era, basically. So here we go. This is my original Duran Duran's Rio. And again, I loved this album when it came out. It was, you know, it was fun. It was lively. It was joyous, bouncy, you know, and again, you know, it's just the dynamics and the mix and the production of the time. And yeah, it gets a little bit kind of like, whoa, every here and there, you know, but it's just joyous, fantastic, funky, fun music. And, you know, and again, I mean, like Sade, that is, you know, it's actually really good. You know, it's way, way, way beyond the mere pop. You know, it's smooth, sophisticated, jazzy kind of, it's damn good stuff. And Duran Duran are actually a really good band. You know, they've stood the test of time, I think. And this is, you know, Rio, I think this or the previous album are my favourite 2 Duran Duran albums. And of course, they've just recently got a reissue. And I just thought, well, I've got to get it. Can't resist. Let's hope this sounds absolutely phenomenal. And it is exactly like the Sade. It is, you know, it's sort of like big, thick bass. And it's just like absolutely, again, turgid. It's tied down. Everything's tethered. There is no life. There is no energy. There's none of that get up and go in it. And, you know, I bought this hoping it was going to be good, and it's appalling. And if it had been good, I would have bought at least their debut album as well. May have stopped at those 2, but I think I had the first 3, 7 and the Ragged Tie. I didn't like that album that much at the time, but I've got an original of it. But it's you know, again, just dire. And it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't have to be. Now, I will point out that there is a common thread in these, and I'm pretty damn certain Well, they're both out of Abbey Road. This and the Sade. I'm pretty sure. This looks like it's pressed at GZ. Looking at the matrix numbers, doesn't say. There's a sticker on the front. Yeah, it says "Made in Czech Republic." I don't think there's some good stuff come out of GZ. There's some mediocre stuff. I don't think that's the issue. I'm far more concerned about the newly cut for vinyl at Abbey Road Studios. I'm not at all convinced that isn't a common thread. Although I've got the new everything but the girl album Fuse, that was cut at Abbey Road. I love it. Sounds great. So I can't really absolutely nail that down to either Abbey Road or half-speed mastering or anything. I don't know the full ins and outs of all that, but again, it's just one of those things that it's so disappointing. It's so lost the entire captivating energy of the original. Same as the Sade, it really is. There's 6 albums that are just the new editions just should have been aborted. They're appalling, and since buying it, over the last year, certainly. I mean, I've seen ABC Lexicon of Love, another phenomenal album, wonderfully well produced from this era, absolutely staggering. And it's kind of looking back on it now, I kind of think of it as like, well, it's not neo-prog. I think you'd call neo-prog, you refer to Marillion and bands like that, but there is a prog element in there. It's good stuff. And I would love an amazing pressing of that album, but not after these. I just can't do it. Now, the next one is quite a change, okay, and this is much, much, much more recent. I mean, since doing the Linkin Park review, I got completely reignited my love of Soundgarden. And so I went out and bought this, which is currently available. It's just the current issue of Bad Motorfinger, which is by far my favourite Soundgarden album. Absolutely love it. And I'll get told off for blowing my records there, blowing dust off. But anyway, so this is the new current issue, and I only actually had this on CD, prior to a couple of weeks ago. And I put this on, and it's nice to hear it on vinyl, and it's fuller, and it's got a slightly better tonal colour than the CD. And it's there's some good things about it, but I thought it's there are also things that are better about the CD. Now, in my way of thinking, if that's the case, then there's got to be then we know there is more on the tape. Okay, so there's got to be more potential there. So I was very fortunate to find this, which is an original. It's an original UK or EU issue for not too much money, and it's a beautiful copy, not a mark on it. Absolutely beautiful copy. Now this is really interesting. This original is cut 6 dB quieter than the new issue, or put that another way, the new issue is cut 6 dB louder than the original, and that is a heck of a lot. That really, really, really is a heck of a lot. The new one just sounds flat. The original, there's more dynamic, there's more detail, there's more openness. There's a much, much, much more driving kind of force, rhythm, passion, speed, whatever you want to call it. It is just, in every way, shape or form, it is, the original annihilates this new issue. It absolutely annihilates it. And so, a couple of plays, and this is straight into the out pile again. And, I don't know what it cost me. Typically 30 quid, something like that, 30, 35, maybe 25. It varies from record to record. But I want originals because they're just not good enough. Okay, so quite different. I don't think this has got anything to do with Abbey Road. So we can I haven't got a hate campaign or anything like that going on. But again, the new version cut 6 dB louder than the original. That is masses. And you think, well, yeah, loud is good, isn't it? Well, no, because I could, on my preamp, which has got 1 dB volume increments, I turned this one up to 60 on the volume, which was sort of averaging 89.6 dB at my listening position, okay? And that was quite enough. On this one, take it up to volume 66 on the preamp, and you've got a similar level, peaking at about 90 dB, 89, 90 dB. But with this one, you could just, I could take it up to 75. I could add another 10 dB to that, and it didn't sound loud. It didn't sound compressed. It didn't sound like, oh God, turn that down. This one, as loud as you want to take it, is way, way, way quieter than the original. It's completely counterproductive, this sort of loudness thing that they do these days. And then again, in this last week, I've talked about this before now. So I went out and bought, while I was there in Raves from the Grave, my local record shop, I've long been after sort of finding just getting more into other Pearl Jam albums beyond 10. I've got an original of 10. Incidentally, which sounds great. I haven't got any others that are originals, but I noticed that you can currently buy Versus as a 33 RPM version or a double 45, which is what this is. I thought, well, that's interesting. They're obviously making an effort to make an audiophile, a higher quality version. So I bought this, and I'll be honest, it's disappointing. Now, I don't have anything else to compare this to be honest, other than the Stream. And I'd say this is better than the Stream on Qobuz, but it is swings and roundabouts. The digital versions are more open and a bit more dynamic, even though this is sort of fuller and more layered, and it's like the sort of the Sade and that Duran Duran thing. It's got that sort of layering, but it's kind of like the Pipe and Slippers old man has kind of gone in and like, oh yes, I think we can make this sound a little bit better. Let's smooth this out here, and no, it's not that kind of music. And okay, this is grunge, Soundgarden's a grunge, but the Sade and the Duran Duran, they're pop, but it's still, you want dynamics, you want that thing going on in the time domain, you want it absolutely unrestrained. So I'm not saying this is a complete miss, but I am looking for an original because my gut feeling is that this is a complete miss. If the difference between this and the original is anything like the difference between this and the original, then the new one's an absolute no-hoper. And then finally, now this is not a comparison because I haven't got it, but it's your viewers, regular viewers may remember I did a video on, I have done some negative videos. I did a video on Tori Amos's Scarlet Walk. I'll put a link to that up here, which is my favourite Tori Amos album, and had never been released on vinyl until either last year or earlier this year. And I got it, and it sounds dire. It's been completely remixed, and it just sounds awful. Now, being a fan, I notice there's a new issue just out right now of Unrepentant Geraldines, and kind of annoyingly, there's some extra tracks on it, so I probably will buy it. But this is the original, and let me know if you want me. If you're interested in Tori Amos, and I get enough, yes, do it. Then I will buy the new one and I'll do a comparison. But my gut feeling is not to, because of just, I'm looking at the trajectory of where this new sort of mastering, these new mixes are going, and it's not in a place I like to see. So that kind of wraps up my little first sort of roundup of rot, so to speak. But it's, it most certainly isn't all new records that I'm taking a pop at here. As I say, there's, Alice in Chains, that I did a review of not that long ago. I think that was the 25th anniversary of Dirt, was it? Can't remember. But, that was really good. The Linkin Park that I did a couple of weeks ago, really, really, really good. And I have ordered the other two, Meteora and Minute to Minute. So I think it's a regular viewer Lathe from Heaven, I think it was, who was urging me to get them, and singing the praises of Meteora. So trust me, as soon as that arrives, that will be straight on the turntable. There are some really good audiophile and non-audiophile releases. There really are. There's the reason for these appalling records are, they're made by choice. I think, frankly, they're made by choice, and I don't really understand what that choice is. My gut feeling is they're mixed for they're mixed to be listened to on things like this, bloody earbuds, and in a lot of cases that's the way these sort of records do seem to sound the best. They're sort of but that's not really that's not for me. That's not hi-fi. That's not what I want. Not at all. Anyway, I hope that was I hope that was not too depressing, and I hope it has been of some use. And I'll look at the viewing figures for this and see whether I want to do another one. But if a lot of people seem to find this useful, then I will certainly do regular updates of those records that I just really regret buying. Basically, record regrets. Maybe that'll be what I'll call this video. Okay, thanks for watching. Do leave a comment. I mean, specifically on the Soundgardens and the Pearl Jams and things like that. If you know of, not just the original, but maybe of a reissue that's like really quite good, or in any of these instances, do leave a comment. Let me know, because I read a lot of forums, and I've bought, again, like the Nirvana Nevermind. Looking at the Steve Hoffman forum, I bought 2 different records going on recommendations from that. And frankly, I thought they were worse than the, 2002 reissue that I had. There's no accounting for taste. But anyway, there we go. See you all again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.